Hi, and welcome to Deep in the Bunker. This is part 2 of the 1962 versus 2017-2018 North Korean crisis, its effects on everybody, especially preppers in the world today. And this is also a slight edit on my very shortened version of the President Trump's speech. So what President Trump did actually say, and I got to start this off for got to start this one off because I don't want to offend anyone and get my facts wrong. Say on September 19th, Donald Trump, in his first address to the United Nations General Assembly, said that the United States, if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket man Kim Jong-un is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. The United States are ready, willing and able, but hopefully this will not be necessary. Also, without mentioning it by name, Donald Trump criticized China for maintaining its relations with North Korea, calling it an outrage that some nations would not only trade with such a regime, but would arm, supply and financially support a country that imperils the world with nuclear conflict. Yeah, so slightly more and better words than I put it through, as my button's bigger than yours, but still, he did say that as well. So here we go. Yeah, so that was North Korea, and obviously this is part 2 of the video, which I very, very briefly touched on, issues in Russia. And this comes, my second excerpt reading comes from the Guardian newspaper. Okay, and here we go. It's just the one sentence I'm going to read out, not the entire article because it's too long, okay? But it's a very potent message that I think everybody needs to hear. So, the Second World War is over, but the First World War is not yet finished. Those are the words of a senior Turkish official I met recently in Ankara. He was speaking of the Middle East, but it was the sort of comment I might as well have heard in Moscow, in Kiev, or in the Balkans about the state of affairs on the European Union continent. So the one place I couldn't possibly have heard this was Brussels. That's because the European Union is still unprepared to live in a world where geopolitics has returned, in which governments, as well as much of the public, are obsessed with borders and territories and tend to define success less by economic growth rather than national pride. Yeah, absolutely. So there we have it. Maybe that sums up very well what 2018, 2019, 2020 will bring for the world in general and preppers specifically. So as I said in video 1, crisis in North Korea was, I feel, postponed, not ended. Who knows if something may rear its ugly head there again. I hope not, but if it does, then a certain percentage of the population are prepared. But here's the big thing. Geopolitics is of the Cold War. You had America, you had Russia, you had the UK, China, etc. These are, as the word is right, geopolitics. Politics by geography, by nation. Okay? The ideals of a nation get in the way of the ideals of people, ideals for freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, all these freedoms that we in the free world take for granted. So what would be the result of that? And let's hope it doesn't go down a dark path. Okay. So a little food for thought. So until next time, stay safe, stay sane, but do keep watching the news for any developments. If you know more, if you have more insight, please let me know. Drop us a comment. For now, this has been Deep in the Bunker.